Greetings. This is the Yellow Brick Road. What follows tonight is a terrifying look into a world full of deceit, dirty money, politicking, and goblins. What? Fine, no goblins. Tonight, we present to you a look into conspiracies.
Alright, this is Tinfoil Hats number 8, and we're going to be discussing artificial intelligence, not as a whole, but just based on the ideas of Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, just conversating with each other. Yeah, so I was like about to go to sleep, and then I saw this was on, or no, I saw it on Twitter. At first I saw Eddie Bravo's name, and right above it I was like, oh, I'll check out a little bit of Eddie Bravo. And then right above it I saw Elon Musk. I'm like, this is interesting. So I texted this guy. I was like, this guy's like tweaking. I'm like, like if people thought the Zuckerberg thing was bad, like at the beginning of this, he just looked like very odd. Not that there's a problem with that, I just noticed that. So that made me continue to watch the thing. And an array of topics came up, and this is the one that stuck out to me. So any Elon Musk fanboys, this is not a diss track. It's just contemplating the ideas and probably coming to the conclusion that you'll hear it. Right.
I watch you doing all these things, and I'm like, how does this motherfucker have all this time and all this energy and all these ideas, and then people just let him do these things?
Because I'm an alien.
That's what I've speculated.
Yes.
I'm on record saying this in the past. I wonder.
It's true.
I mean, if there was one, I was like, if there was like maybe an intelligent being that we created, you know, like some AI creature that's superior to people, maybe it'd just hang around with us for a little while like you've been doing, and then fix a bunch of shit. Maybe that's the way.
I might have some mutation or something like that.
You might. Do you think you do?
Probably.
Do you wonder? Like, when you're around normal people, you're like, You're like, what's up with these boring, dumb motherfuckers? Ever?
Not bad for a human, but I think
that was a joke that Rogan missed. I thought it was funny.
we'll not be able to hold a candle to AI.
You scared the shit out of me when you talk about AI. Between you and Sam Harris. I didn't even consider it until I had a podcast with Sam once.
That's great.
He made me shit my pants. Talking about AI, I realized, like, oh, well, this is a genie that once it's out of the bottle, you're never getting it back in.
That's true.
There was a video that you tweeted about one of those Boston Dynamic robots. And you're like, in the future, it'll be moving so fast you can't see it without a strobe light.
Yeah. You could probably do that right now.
And no one's really paying attention too much, other than people like you or people that are really obsessed with technology. All these things are happening, and these robots are... Did you see the one where PETA put out a statement that you shouldn't kick robots?
Probably not wise.
For retribution.
Their memory's very good.
I bet it's really good.
It's really good.
I bet it is.
Yes.
And getting better every day.
It's really good.
Are you honestly, legitimately concerned about this? Is like AI one of your main worries in regards to the future?
Yes, it's less of a worry than it used to be, mostly due to taking more of a fatalistic attitude.
So you used to have more hope. and you gave up some of it, and now you don't worry as much about AI. You're like, this is just what it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Yes. No, it's not necessarily bad. It's definitely going to be outside of human control.
Not necessarily bad, right?
Yeah, it's not necessarily bad. It's just outside of human control. Now, the thing that's going to be tricky here is that it's going to be very tempting to use AI as a weapon. It's going to be very tempting. In fact, it will be used as a weapon. So the on-ramp to serious AI, the danger is going to be more humans using it against each other, I think, most likely. That'll be the danger. Yeah.
How far do you think we are from something that can make its own mind up, whether or not something's ethically or morally correct, or whether or not it wants to do something, or whether or not it wants to improve itself, or whether or not it wants to protect itself from people or from other AI? How far away are we from something that's really, truly sentient?
Well, I mean, you could argue that any group of people, like a company is essentially a cybernetic collective of people and machines. That's what a company is. And then there's different levels of complexity in the way these companies are formed. And then there are there's like a collective AI in the Google search, where we're all sort of plugged in as like nodes on the network, like leaves on a big tree. And we're all feeding this network without questions and answers. We're all collectively programming the AI. And Google plus all the humans that connect to it are one giant cybernetic collective. This is also true of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all these social networks. They're giant cybernetic collectives.
Humans and electronics all interfacing, and constantly connected.
Yes, constantly.
One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot over the last few years is that one of the things that drives a lot of people crazy is how many people are obsessed with materialism and getting the latest, greatest thing. And I wonder how much of that is, well, a lot of it is most certainly fueling technology and innovation. And it almost seems like it's built into us. It's like what we like and what we want, that we're fueling this thing that's constantly around us all the time. And it doesn't seem possible that people are going to pump the brakes. It doesn't seem possible at this stage where we're constantly expecting the newest cell phone, the latest Tesla update, the newest MacBook Pro. Everything has to be newer and better. And that's going to lead to some incredible point. And it seems like it's built into us. It almost seems like it's an instinct that we're working towards this, that we like it. Mm-hmm. That our job, just like the ants build the anthill, our job is to somehow or another fuel this.
Yes. I mean, I made this comment some years ago, but it feels like we are the biological bootloader for AI, effectively. We are building it. And then we're building progressively greater intelligence. And the percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing. And eventually, we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence. But the AI is informed, strangely, by the human limbic system. It is, in large part, our id writ large.
How so?
We mentioned all those things, the sort of primal drives. Mm-hmm. There's all the things that we like and hate and fear. They're all there on the internet. They're a projection of our limbic system. It's true.
No, it makes sense. And the thinking of it as thinking of corporations and just thinking of just human beings communicating online through these social media networks as some sort of an organism it's a cyborg. It's a combination. It's a combination of electronics and biology.
Yeah.
Does this?
In some measure, like the success of these online systems is sort of a function of how much limbic resonance they're able to achieve with people. The more limbic resonance, the more engagement.
Whereas, like, one of the reasons why probably Instagram is more enticing than Twitter.
Limbic resonance.
Yeah, you get more images, more video.
Yes.
Tweaking your system more.
Yes.
Do you worry about, or wonder, in fact, about what the next step is? I mean, a lot of people didn't see Twitter coming, that communicate with 140 characters or 280 now would be a thing that people would be interested in. Like, it's going to excel, it's going to become more connected to us, right?
Yes, things are getting more and more connected. They're, at this point, constrained by bandwidth. Our input-output is slow, particularly output. Output got worse with thumbs. We used to have input with 10 fingers, now we have thumbs. But images are also they're a way of communicating at high bandwidth. Take pictures and you send pictures to people. That communicates far more information than you can communicate with your thumbs.
So what happened with you where you decided, or you took on a more fatalistic attitude? Like, what was there any specific thing, or was it just the inevitability of our future?
I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years.
This seems
Nobody
like a scene
listened.
in a movie
Nobody
where
listened.
the robots are going to fucking take over and you're freaking me out. Nobody listened.
Nobody listened.
No one. Are people more inclined to listen today? It seems like an issue that's brought up more often over the last few years than it was maybe 5-10 years ago. It seems like science fiction.
He said that?
Maybe they will. So far they haven't.
Oh, Rogan? Like, me too, dude. Like, nah, you like,
I think people don't, like, normally the way that regulations work is very slow. Very slow indeed. So, usually there'll be some new technology. It will cause damage or death. There will be an outcry. There will be investigation. Years will pass. There will be some sort of insight committee. There will be rulemaking. Then there will be oversight, eventually regulations. This all takes many years. This is the normal course of things. If you look at, say, automotive regulations, how long did it take for seatbelts to be implemented, to be required? The auto industry fought seatbelts, I think, for more than a decade. Successfully fought any regulations on seatbelts, even though the numbers were extremely obvious. If you had a seatbelt on, you would be far less likely to die or be seriously injured. It was unequivocal. And the industry fought this for years, successfully. Eventually, after many, many people died, regulators insisted on seatbelts. This time frame is not relevant to AI. You can't take 10 years from the point at which it's dangerous. It's too late.
And
You said, dun 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 dun. I'm back.
Oh, I mean,
Actually, I think it's a girl now. I'm just waiting for one certain part.
you feel like this is decades away or years away from being too late? If you have this fatalistic attitude and you feel like it's going, we're in a almost like a doomsday countdown.
It's not necessarily a doomsday countdown. It's a
Out of control countdown?
out of control. Yeah. People call it the singularity, and that's probably a good way to think about it. It's a singularity. It's hard to predict, like a black hole. What happens past the event horizon?
Right. So once it's implemented, it's very different because it will
Once
be
the
able
genie's
to,
out of the bottle, what's
right.
going to happen?
And it will be able to improve itself.
Yes.
That's where it gets spooky, right? The idea that it can do thousands of years of innovation. We're very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And then we'll be just ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
We will be like this ridiculous biological shitting, pissing thing trying to stop the gods. No, stop. We like living with a finite lifespan and watching, Norman Rockwell paintings.
It could be terrible, and it could be great. It's not clear.
Right.
But one thing's for sure, we will not control it.
Do you think that it's likely that we will merge somehow or another with this sort of technology and it'll augment what we are now? Or do you think it will replace us?
Well, that's the scenario. The merge scenario with AI is the one that seems like probably the best. Like
For us.
Yes. Like if you can't beat it, join it. That's
Yeah.
So from a long-term existential standpoint, that's like the purpose of Neuralink, is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI. Because we have a bandwidth problem. You just can't communicate through it because it's too slow.
And where's Neuralink at right now?
I think we'll have something interesting to announce in a few months. That's at least an order of magnitude better than anything else. I think better than probably anyone thinks is possible.
How much can you talk about that right now?
I don't want to jump the gun on that.
But what's like the ultimate, what's the idea behind it? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with it? What would you like, best case scenario?
I think best case scenario, we effectively merge with AI, where AI serves as a tertiary cognition layer, where we've got the limbic system, primitive brain essentially. We've got the cortex. So you're currently in a symbiotic relationship. Your cortex and limbic system are in a symbiotic relationship. And generally people like their cortex and they like their limbic system. I haven't met anyone who wants to delete their limbic system or delete their cortex. Everybody seems to like both.
Delete.
And the cortex is mostly in service to the limbic system. People may think that the thinking part of themselves is in charge, but it's mostly their limbic system that's in charge. And the cortex is trying to make the limbic system happy. That's what most of that computing power is oriented towards. How can I make the limbic system happy? That's what it's trying to do. Now,
By limbic, I think he means like emotions and shit. Those are our primitive thingies. I think that's what he means. Layman's terms.
if we have a third layer, which is the AI extension of yourself, that is also symbiotic, and there's enough bandwidth between the cortex and the AI extension of yourself such that the AI doesn't de facto separate, then that could be a good outcome. That could be quite a positive outcome for the future.
So instead of replacing us, it will radically change our capabilities.
Yes, it will enable anyone who wants to have superhuman cognition. Anyone who wants. This is not a matter of earning power, because your earning power would be vastly greater after you do it. So it's just like anyone who wants can just do it. In theory. That's the theory. And if that's the case, then, and let's say billions of people do it, then the outcome for humanity will be the sum of human will. the sum of billions of people's desire for the future. And
But
that could be
billions of people with enhanced cognitive ability, radically
Yes.
enhanced.
Yeah.
And which would be, how much different than people today? Like if you had to explain it to a person who didn't really understand what you were saying, how much different are you talking about? When you say radically improved, like what do you mean? You mean mind reading?
It would be difficult to really appreciate the difference. It's kind of like, how much smarter are you with a phone or computer than without? You're vastly smarter, actually. You can answer any question. If you connect to the internet, you can answer any question pretty much instantly, any calculation. Your phone's memory is essentially perfect. You can remember flawlessly. Your phone can remember videos, pictures, and everything perfectly. Your phone is already an extension of you. You're already a cyborg. You don't even. Well, most people don't realize they are already a cyborg. That phone is an extension of yourself. It's just that the data rate, the rate at which, or the communication rate between you and the cybernetic extension of yourself, that is your phone and computer, is slow. It's very slow. And that is like a tiny straw of information flow between your biological self and your digital self. And we need to make that tiny straw like a giant river, a huge, high bandwidth interface. It's an interface problem, data rate problem. Solve the data rate problem, then I think we can hang on to human machine symbiosis through the long term. And then people may decide that they want to retain their biological self or not. I think they'll probably choose to retain their biological self.
Versus some sort of Ray Kurzweil scenario where they download themselves into a computer?
You will be essentially snapshotted into a computer at any time. If your biological self dies, you're probably just uploaded to a new unit.
And bam. That's the part I was looking for. I didn't realize it was basically the entire video. But, alright. So I say we break this down in more of a philosophical, psychological terms.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't mind. So, let's make some, change some words around into like a philosophical context. So, what he means by yourself and a phone being an extension of yourself and all that stuff, and limbic systems. Well, not the limbic system, but what he means by the AI or whatever being an extension of yourself, he really means it's an extension of your ego. The thing in your mind that's, if someone asks you what's 2 plus 2, and you go into your head and you're like, what's 2 plus 2? It's when you're doing that shit.
I don't do that.
That's your ego doing that. That is different than the entire landscape of your psyche. It's just a one surface level thing. Right? You could throw memory in there. Memory, the brain, the ego. I think those are the things that are symbiotic, whatever word he used. Those are the things that are symbiotic with technology. So, when he says cognitive ability, what he really means is it's like you have a really good memory, an extended memory, as opposed to the applied information. Right? There's a difference between a teacher asking a kid, what's 2 plus 2? And they're like, 4. And what's 2 plus 2? And they go on their phone and type in Google, what's 2 plus 2? And it gives you the answer 4. Right? There's a difference there. There's a disconnect between the information and the person that's getting the information. They're really just repeating an answer. That's sort of what memory does, right? Those are two different things. What else did he mention? Transferring, I believe he's talking about transferring consciousness into machines. He says like, oh, that'll be on the way too.
It's not going to be.
So what he means by that is well, actually, he did use the word snapshot. So it won't actually be you. It'll just be a replica of you. Actually, hold on. It's not even a replica of you. It's a replica of your ego.
It's a replica of what you do and stuff.
It's a replica of what you look like.
Mannerisms.
And that's usually the ego. I mean, like you as a person, not just what you look like aesthetically.
I get it. Yeah.
But what you're actually like. The ego expressions. Right?
Yeah, but it's absent of what's the most important thing.
It's all important.
I would say that makes
The ego's a part of itself.
Makes everything.
Oh, you need the whole thing. All of it.
I imagine it as like, what do you call it? Like a piece of a centerpiece.
I disagree.
I don't know.
I'd say it is the piece itself. The ego's just the outer ring.
Maybe.
You don't want to be without either of them.
No, but, you know. It's just a giant robot. Oh, not giant. Just a robot kind of imitating me.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
It'll be what he says, a snapshot of you.
I don't want that.
Not a feature full-length film
No.
that never stops. That's continuously running. So this ended up becoming very telling that he believes this is, him saying it without saying it, because if Elon Musk fan watched this, he'd be like, you didn't say that. It's like, well, he's sort of implying it with this, and this.
Well, it's saying without saying it by giving you evidence to what he believes in.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, like the studies say that white athletes are more intelligent. I don't know how you couldn't agree with the data. So you're saying white athletes are more intelligent? No, I'm just saying look at these studies here. It's like, you backing off from what you're implying, dude? I'm not saying he's doing that. I'm just saying he's implying something, but he's not saying it. He's not making an official statement.
And what I think he's implying is that, not what he's implying, but what he's saying about his beliefs of humanity is that we are pure ego. That is the fullest extent of a human being, is their ego. That's basically what he's saying, without saying it.
I would hope he doesn't believe that.
When he says transfer you into a machine, he means the ego. You may not realize he's saying it's the ego, but that's the ego, which means he's defining you as a person as the ego, as in your existential understanding of yourself is purely ego. When he says symbiotic relationship with your phone or whatever, or we're already cyborgs, this is an extension of ourselves. He doesn't mean ourselves, he means our ego.
Delete.
He may not understand that, but that's basically what he's saying.
Delete. No, you don't get it. Never mind.
Nah.
Wrestling fans will.
So that makes me think that his, what people consider as his superior intelligence is purely on an ego level and not really applied to life itself, the human existential experience. I mean, you may just not understand that.
Not many people do.
Huh?
So I would say not many people do.
Yeah, but he might have such cognitive ability to where I can memorize a shitload of things.
Or that outshines it all. For
to
him.
where it's like, the closest friend, his best friend, is a metaphor, but like his memory's best friend is standing right next to him at all times. It's called logic. He just purely uses logic, and of course, logic makes everything else make sense, so that you don't have to dig any further. Like, I already had the answer. Logic told me.
I see.
I don't need these other types of intelligences. Also, yeah, he's basically defining the person as a cyborg. He's talking about the relationship between the limbic system and the cortex. It's like those are body terms, which is ego terms.
Oh yeah, it's like
As in we're machine. As in
the shoulder and the arm. Like, what about the stuff you can't see, man?
yeah.
About that, I don't follow.
As in theoretically, you should be able to open someone's head up. You know, whatever, change some wiring around, and now your favorite color is different, or something like that.
No.
That would theoretically be the case, right? For purely biological machines, we have no choice over anything. Period.
Say it again?
If we're purely biological machines, basically, then we have no choice over anything. It's all already written in our DNA and in our genetics. It's dictated already. We have to do this thing because our genetics say so. We wouldn't even notice that it's our genetics making those choices. We would think it's us, but that's just a function of keeping. That's just a function of survival, or something like, or something of evolution.
And give a bunch of it's me, beep boop boop bop bop. Like, it isn't. That's
Well,
creepy.
Here's the thing. If they can develop AI far enough, the robot won't realize it's a robot. It'll think it's actually you, or whatever it's replicating. Like, no, that's me. It can program arguments in there. It's like, what's my favorite color?
Yeah.
Like, no. See? It's like,
Kill it.
yeah.
God, I just.
So yeah, the robot itself wouldn't know that it's just a replica.
That's fucking. Imagine.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah. And only.
Just hold the card.
Yeah.
Says he actually is a cyborg. Save me. Being held down here. But
And let's say they did it in secret, people around you wouldn't notice either. Most likely.
a handful of people
Except in
would.
special cases. I don't know. Because what's my favorite color? What's my favorite color?
I don't fucking know.
Am I a robot? Am I a robot?
Oh, well, I mean, other than that time you, in that you drinking the oil and all that stuff, I mean, in that weird place that the outlet is there, no freaky, you know. Other than that, I don't think so. But if I was near someone who's very in tune with these things, you know, not mechanical-esque, you know, but it's,
Yeah, but they can replicate mannerisms and things like that. Let's
so-
say they can make
so
a
can
perfect,
psychopaths, man.
say a perfect AI.
So can psychopaths.
So you're saying there's an innate connection between human beings to where you'll be like, I can smell. This is different.
Absolutely.
I would say so, but I'd have to be in a certain place to recognize it. And I'd have to have, personally I probably wouldn't, unless it's a special situation. Right? Because that's me. I just choose not to go there. Like, that's not my business. That's your shit. That's your existential thing.
What do you mean? Not my business.
Like, this is going to get woo-woo now.
It's your business now.
It's going to get woo-woo since you asked the question. But the exchange of whatever, energy, things like that, yeah, I take the no thank you path. Yeah, I'm
In
good.
regards to what?
As possible energetic exchange or
Meaning what?
collective unconscious exchange.
Please describe it.
Is there words for this? I can do the collective unconscious one. I can do that one for you, but the other one's not really.
It's none of my business. I don't partake. Like, what do you mean by that?
It means
Exchanging.
the best I could do. The collective unconscious one, I can.
Where's your degree now?
The collective unconscious one, I can try to explain, but
Go ahead.
the energetic type stuff is more of a metaphor. Is the best explanation. Collective unconscious would be like think of it as an ocean where all our content falls to, like all of it. And I would say with the correct focus, you can be in tune that with permission with another person in unconscious. Like, yes. The most notable case would be something like a soulmate or something, where it's like, I just knew she was the one, or whatever. There's an unconscious agreement happening.
That's what you think?
That's the mental one. Then there's everything. Obviously, there's a whole self, but the energetic thing would be more like, if you're not welcome in their house, you dust your boots off and go on your merry way, as Jesus and Michael Tessarian would say.
Dust your boot. Jesus didn't have boots, man.
It's sort of like if you're in a,
He had sandals.
not if you're in a debate, but if you're in a conversation and you're sort of pushing too hard. Come on, man, prove it. Like, that's you, like, looming over their house, like, what's up?
Going over there.
And it's like, and if they're like, fucking back off, man, that's you. You gotta be like, okay. That's the moral thing. But, you know, you can obviously keep pushing, but it's their choice whether or not they let you in. Whether or not they crack.
It calls upon the, for me, it would call upon the situation.
What do you mean?
So back off, man. Okay. I won't do that.
Well, it's not your choice.
I'll do this, huh?
It's not your choice.
Oh, it's not.
But if they trick themselves into, I'm overpowered, and they just let themselves go, that's when the exchange can happen. I think you looked into Tessarian calling them psychic vampires or whatever, but I don't know.
I mean, you know, it was interesting. You know, when the show, like this, you know, previous episode was done, and I was packing up, and then I saw like someone else down here, and he went like this. There's like a lot of glowy stuff happening, you know. And
What?
If that's what you mean.
That joke fell.
Oh, it's no joke.
Fell off a skyscraper.
Play it off. In your white oil. Go ahead. Nobody knows. Nobody's watching.
All right, now we're off topic.
See? Deflecting the subject. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I think Elon Musk and I think Joe Rogan's still on the fence. I think he'll just constantly take the stance. I don't know, but he'll just keep looking. He'll keep rabbit holing towards the technological side of things. I think he sort of wants to see, like, okay, we can just live forever. That'll just end war and all that. It'll all just go away. We can mind read. You'll have no secrets. So people won't be able to just lie to you and stuff like that. So I think he has just whatever idea I just said right there, just clean that up a bit. I think that's what Rogan is, like, hopeful for or wants to see or something like that. Because he talks about it a lot. But, yeah, Musk, he sort of just sees things on an egotistical level, I think. That's the way it seems.
Oh, I mean, I guess.
Either that or he knows more. He's not quite saying.
I mean, he knows what to do for those repairs you need with your with your leg and stuff. Yeah.
I need some new shocks, new shock absorbers, new Nike shocks. They're instilled under my. They look like feet, but they're really Nike shocks. They compress and then. And that is Tinfoil Hats number 8. Joe Rogan, Elon Musk,
Jordan's battery's running out.
and artificial intelligence. Everything cut off for a second?
No.
It did.
Well, they probably found out you're a
The government is watching.
energy vampire, and you had to. It's like, oh, they know now.
So, thank you for watching. Hopefully you stuck around to the end. I would say, yeah, if you're having a problem, like something got triggered, feel free to question me on the woo-woo stuff. It's more for fun. I can't really actually show you anything, but it's for fun to talk about. Why not?
Or they can just bring their friends and fans and.
Well, we're not dissing.
Okay, one word in, then I'll run. It's like.
Well, we're not like so outright calling him wrong.
Who, him?
Yeah.
I don't know what he means, really.
I mean, sort of calling him outright wrong, but we're not saying it's on like a moral ground towards like.
The other thing I would
Like
say.
someone did something to you, and you're like, yeah, you got this ideology now, and it seems like you want to take it out in the world.
I don't know if that's him.
Like the other guy we were talking about. I think you're just a scientist, like a really smart scientist, dude.
I'm sure. It's just. I would only say, oh, that won't be you then. You know, whatever you're
Yeah.
downloading in that computer or that device or whatever in that body, and the computer uploads a face or even some sort of like. You know what I mean? It's like a humanoid. It's not you. You
Yeah.
know? It'll take all this evidence of what you do, say, whatever, you know.
And this should be the realm to where fans stop being fans. The fans should be up to a point where it's like, oh shit, can you actually develop that type of technology? Can you do this? Can you make that? But then the moral implications is where you step back, where I think you should step back as a fan and sort of, you know, truly, you know, whatever, sit down, squat, whatever.
So they have to sit down.
In your conscience, just stay there while you observe all the content. That's what I was saying.
Do they have to play a series of music as well as this is happening?
Yes.
Do they have to fold their legs as they're sitting down?
They must be near a lotus tree.
A lotus tree.
And
You have to buy this DVD for $19.99. 3 easy payments. 3 easy payments at $19.99.
61 degrees with the 8-mile-an-hour winds swinging from south to southeast.
And bottled water. By bottled water, I mean glass, not plastic. Room temperature, that is. By room temperature, I mean the lowest temperature room in your house. It has to be a house and or condo. If you're poor, you're fucked.
Yeah. Alright, that is it. Subscribe if you feel like. Leave a comment if you feel like. And as always, thumbs down.
Greetings.